Greetings, family. This is Leah Salmon, the Naturally You coach, best-selling author, speaker, nutritionist, life coach, live blood analyst, and author. I probably just said that, didn't I? Probably did just say that. But today I am coming on to do a live about my brand new book. Oh, so excited. So I announced the launch of this book last week and let you know that you can pre-order a copy of the book up until this Sunday, the 8th of March, which is actually International Women's Day, at a discounted price. And thank you everyone who's coming in. And yeah, so to get a copy of the book, you can go to the naturallyyoucoach.com/shop, which should be in the comments for this video. But what I wanted to share with you today is why I decided to create a guided journal. So again, before I start going into that, if you again, if you want to get a copy of the book, discounted copy of the book on pre-order, you can get that at the naturallyyoucoach.com/shop. And I'm going to, just to quickly let you know about some events that are coming up. I'm going to be at the Curly Treats Festival, which is going to be on the 24th of May. No, it's not. It's 24th of April. It's going to be on the 24th of April. And that's going to be back in West London in the Novotel Hotel Hammersmith. And you can find out more about that at curlytreats.co.uk. I'm also going to be at the Return to Your Roots Festival up in Birmingham. This is the 7th year running. It's normally a 2-day event. This time it's going to be it's normally a 2-day event. I cannot talk. I just can't even talk. How is this? How am I going to do a live if I can't say simple words? Let's see how this goes. So it's normally a 2-day event, but this year it's going to be a 1-day event. And the date that it was publicized to be on was going to be the Saturday, the 9th of May. Now the date has changed. So it's actually going to be on Friday, the 8th of May. And it's also changed venue. It was going to be in the Legacy Centre in Birmingham. Now it's moved back to the H Suite in Birmingham, which is where it was last year and the year before. To find out about all the different events that I'm going to be at with my book, and I'm going to be speaking at, you can go to my website, naturallyyoucoach.com, and I would encourage you to join the mailing list because that's where I share more information about the events that I'm going to be at, special offers, books, all that kind of great stuff. Thank you for everyone that's coming in. For some reason, I can't see the names of anyone that's coming in. Can't see names. Can't see comments. Can't see anything. So I hope you stick with me during this time because I can't actually communicate with you. Let me see if I've got a second device because I do watch the lovely Janine Cummings, who is an expert in live streaming, and she always has a second device so that she can see what's going on. So I'm going to see if I can see what's going on. But anyway, so I'm going to talk to you today briefly about why I chose to write a guided journal. Because I'm always interested in why people choose to write the books that they write. And a guided journal is not, it's becoming a lot more popular, but it's not that popular. So I wanted to, I'm going to be doing more videos in the future about like the benefits of journaling, how you can decide what to write, because some people want to keep a journal, but they're like, oh, when I sit down, what am I going to write about? So I'm going to share more tips on what it is that you can actually write, what you can commit to writing that will be beneficial for you. And also tips on being consistent, because most people know that, or most people have a sense that it's useful to be consistent when they are journaling. I do recommend consistency. I don't necessarily recommend you do it daily, but I do recommend consistency. And I'm going to give you some tips on how you can become more consistent with your writing. So, some of you may know that my big brother is a young man named Julian Hall. And he, right now, he's the founder of a company called Ultra Kids, Ultra Education. And they are an organization that teaches entrepreneurship to children. But he wasn't always that. He used to be a entrepreneur, kind of business coach, marketing expert, those types of things. And he wrote a book which kind of, I guess, created his brand his ultra brand, and the book was called Ultrapreneurism: 100 Ways to Up Your Game. And it was basically a book of quotes that he had written, motivational quotes to help you with your business. Now, while he was and I also am, my spiritual guide is a man by the name of Dr. Malachi Z. York. We now know him as Parnabab Yananan. And he also had a book called The Sayings of Malachi. So oh my gosh, I can see someone. Charmaine! Greetings, sis. Sis, I can't see who's watching me. Facebook is trying to ruin my life right now because I can't see who's watching me. The first person I can see is watching me. Greetings, sis. Thank you for tuning in. So I found both of those books. I found The Sayings of Malachi Z. York and I found my brother's book really useful. I found it really useful to just have a book where I could just flick through it, see, like one statement that would have a great impact on me, something that I could think on, ponder over, which is why Instagram's so brilliant, because people can post up a meme and it can get people thinking and it can have lots of different meanings and it's brilliant. So at the time, I think I had already written greetings. Greetings, darling. Also, please check out the another event that I'm hoping to be at in London, which is the Black History Studies Black Market and Film Festival. I'm sure this is their 100th one. It happens twice a year. It's an amazing event. If you think there's no black businesses around, then think again and go to that event, because there is always over 35 black businesses who are there sharing their quality products, and there's always films, sometimes film exclusives, and talks and workshops and things like that are happening as well. And I'm hoping to be at that event this year, which I think is going to be on the 4th of May. Charmaine, if you could put in the comments when that event is going to be, definitely, so that I can let people know. So anyway, I loved those kind of books. And at the time of my brother writing his book, I had already published 2 books by that time, which was Leah's Raw Food Feast and a book called Becoming Naturally You. So I was looking to write another book at the time, and I wasn't sure what book to write, and I liked the idea. I liked the way my brother had laid out his book. There was a beautiful picture, and then there was the quote to go with it. So I was like, oh, let me see what other health quote books are out there. And there basically weren't any health quote books out there. Now, this was back in 2014, so I'm sure there's other quote books out there now. But at the time, I just couldn't find any quote books. And if there were quote books, they just weren't, I didn't find the quotes practical. And as much as I like to talk, and I can talk for a long time, I do aim to make the work that I do practical. I want people to, when they finish listening to me, have something tangible that they can go away with. Unless it's story time. Today's story time. So you may not go home with anything tangible today. But I do like to make things tangible so people can be like, oh, that's something I can actually action. And I couldn't really find that out there. So my brother was like, well, if there's no health quote books out there, then you're obviously the person to write the quote book. So I wrote a book called 100 Bites. And I literally sat down, and I think it took me about 4 weeks to create 100 quotes in the areas of healthy eating and fitness and healthy living and well-being and holistic health and all those kind of things. So I wrote the quotes, got the pictures, and created literally a quote book, basically the same as what my brother had, but for health. And whilst the book was well received, people bought the book, said they liked the book and they were benefiting from the book, I personally thought the book could be more useful. So again, probably back maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I had already published 6 books, but I pulled them all off the shelf. I basically just stopped making them available for sale and stopped selling them, because I realized that even though I had published 6 books, I wasn't happy with the quality of most of the books. And when I'm talking about quality, I was like, there were typos in there. I had rushed to get them out. I'm sorry for anyone that bought my books back then. I'm really sorry. My intentions were good, but the end product just wasn't the quality that I wanted it to be. So instead of selling something that I didn't think was good enough quality, I withdrew the books so that I could redo them and bring them out again. So the first one I republished was Leah's Raw Food Feast, because that was one of my best selling books. And at the time, again, I know there's a lot now, but at the time there were very few raw food recipe books that were written by any black people. So I wanted to make sure that book was available so that black people had a raw food recipe book with ingredients that they knew and liked and understood. So I bought that book out. Then I bought out the womb health book, which was 30 days. Well, it was originally called Stress Free Monthlies. And when I rebranded it, it was called 30 Days to Better Periods and Womb Health, because that's exactly what the book was showing you how to do. My journey into health started when I had a womb health condition called metrorrhagia, where I was bleeding between my periods, and I basically healed myself from it using foods and natural remedies and lifestyle changes. So the book literally documents my journey of healing myself, as well as everything that I've learned working with other women up until that point. And I also bought out the book Becoming Naturally You, which was a 39-step guide to holistic health. So instead of trying to change everything in your life all in one go, the book is broken up into 39 steps, and you basically just focus on one step a week. So every week you only focus on doing one thing to improve your health, and you just do that for 1 week, and then the next week you move on to something else. Now, so that you basically have a cumulative effect of introducing different health techniques. Again, things to do with your food, things to do with your thinking, your mindset, and things to do with your lifestyle as well. So that you're not trying to do it all in one go, because then it can become like overwhelming, and then you just stop and you think, oh, this healthy living thing doesn't work. And it's not that it doesn't work. It's just possible that you're introducing it in a way that's just not going to be sustainable long term. So I had those books. That's how I was bringing out the books. So when it came to the quote book, I was like, okay, how am I gonna, I didn't want to just bring the book out again with, I don't know, new pictures or something like that. I also wanted to add some quotes to the book. There were some book quotes in there that I wasn't that happy with anymore. Greetings says, okay, so the Black Market's going to be on Saturday the 4th of April. Thank you very much. And you can find out more about the Black Market and Film Festival at blackhistorystudies.com. So yeah, I wanted to add some quotes to the book. There are some quotes in the book that I didn't think were appropriate anymore, so I wanted to take some quotes out. And because now my focus is on helping Black women with their health, especially Black women and Black children with their health, I also wanted to make the whole book, as you can see, a bit more feminine, a bit more, focused on sisters. Now, again, even though I thought the quotes in the book were very valuable, like I did put a lot of time into making sure that the quotes were valuable, I wanted to make a tool that people could use, which included the quotes, but in a way that was just more effective. So that's when I came up with the idea of creating a guided journal. So basically, journals are normally just books with lined pages where you can just write down your thoughts. A guided journal is a journal where you have the space to write down your thoughts, but you also have writing prompts, little questions that ask you thought-provoking questions that can help to guide your writing. So what I decided to do is to incorporate the quotes that I had created with writing prompts and lined pages for you to work with, basically, so that it became more of a tool. Because again, like I said, some people understand that there's a benefit in journaling, but they don't always know how they can incorporate journaling because they just don't know what they're going to write. A lot of people are on a health journey, and while they're on that health journey, they have a lot of questions and concerns and worries, and also moments of like aha moments, like aha, it makes sense now, and like successes that they want to share. So I also wanted to create a journal that was focused on health, so that they could share the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the plateaus, because plateaus are very common in health journeys as well, where things are going really well and then things kind of plateau and you're like, oh, shall I keep going? Is anything still happening? And a lot is still happening, but you're just at that plateau, and that plateau stage can be really challenging, actually. So I wanted to create a journal that helped someone in their health journey, as well as giving them the motivating and inspiring quotes that I had created, as well as writing prompts. So for example, this is the 5th one, and it says, a lack of medication is the cause of no disease, which is one of my quotes, because I say that to everyone. And that, I'm saying that to say that most people will probably work out. Why can't I talk? Charmaine, why can't I talk? Most people will probably work out what that quote means. A lack of medication is the cause of no disease. So when people are saying to me, oh, my blood pressure is high because I stopped taking the medication, that is not the reason your blood pressure is high. Your blood pressure wasn't high because you weren't taking the medication. Your blood pressure was high because of diet, because of lifestyle, because of stress. That's why your blood pressure was high. The medication is not the cause of you having stable Is you not taking the medication is not the cause of you having high blood pressure. There's other things. The medication is something you've been given to manage the symptom, and it's not the cause, and it's also not going to be the cure to it either. So underneath that, one of the writing prompts, and not all of the quotes have got writing prompts. Sometimes it's just a quote and an image, and then just, again, more space for you to write. But it said, are there areas of your life that you are looking at from an unhelpful perspective? Because if you look at medication from a perspective of this is what is going to keep me healthy, that's an unhealthy way to look at the use of medication. Are you focusing on removing the symptoms in your life instead of addressing the cause of them? Because again, when we're taking medications, vast majority of medications are doing nothing to address the cause. They're simply getting rid of the symptoms, and then when you remove them, the symptoms come back. So that is what the guided journal, that's how the guided journal is laid out. I've also got some gorgeous, where are they? Some gorgeous colouring pages from, hold the phone, where are the colouring pages? There we go. So I've got some colouring pages as well. So during your journaling journey, maybe one day you pick up the journal and you can't bother to actually write. So then you can just create something beautiful by colouring in one of the images there. There's also goal tracking and setting pages in here as well. So that as well as journaling on a daily basis, you can also, greetings, who's that coming? Greetings, Aisha, thank you for joining me, sis. As well as journaling in the way that you normally would, you can also set goals and keep track of those goals throughout the process. This is an undated journal. If you're anything like me, doing something on a daily basis can be challenging. And I find when I had a dated journal, that like I would be really consistent and I would be writing every single day. Well, every single day. I'd be writing for like 3 days in a row. And then day number 4 would come and it'd be like, oh, I just didn't have time to fit it in. And when I got back to it on day 7, it was like 3 blank pages. And then I have to go and like cross out dates and redo dates, and it was just all long. And then I felt bad that I wasn't able to be consistent with it. And again, I actually don't recommend, well, no, I don't think it's necessary to journal daily. If you're in the position to, absolutely fine. And for some people, it can actually be the difference between them having serious mental health challenges and them keeping themselves stable, is journaling on a daily basis, giving themselves that time to create that holistic support of the self-therapy that is journaling. But I think for most of us, just being consistent with it to some degree is useful, which is why I've made this undated, so that if you are journaling and you get to there, you can just put a line in it and put the next date there. And that can be 3 days later, that can be 20 minutes later, and that can be 2 months later. You can just keep rolling with it so that there's no pressure to have to. I mean, this book you could get through this whole book. I mean, there's like 240 pages in here. So you could get through this book in a month or 3 months or a year. It's entirely moves at your pace. And that is why I created this journal, because I wanted to recreate my book, republish my book, but I wanted to create something that I thought would be more useful than just pages of quotes. I wanted to create a space for you to be able to share the highs, the lows, the joys, the successes of your journey, as well as having those motivating and inspiring quotes to keep you going and to give you something to think about, to ponder on as you're going through the system. I realized that, and I wrote this in the foreword of the book, that over the years, like when I was a teenager, I was committed, maybe because I didn't have much else to do, but when I was a teenager, I was committed to my journal. Like I had a diary, I would write in it all the time, I'd put pictures in it, all that kind of stuff. And it helped me to, because my teenage years were quite a challenging time, it did help me to have a safe space to share the challenging thoughts that I was going through. But then when I kind of got older and became a mother and a wife, I kind of deprioritized it, because I was like, oh, that's like stuff that people that don't have a lot of time, people that have a lot of time, they can do that. I don't have time to do this now because I'm a business owner and I'm a mother and I'm a wife, blah, 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 blah. But the times I would go back to journaling, because I would always kind of have a journal because I like stationery. I would have a journal, and the times I would go back to the journal was either when things were going terribly bad, and very occasionally when things were going well. But it was normally when things were going so badly that I would pick up the journal and just have to write out my feelings and thoughts. And I feel that if I had been more consistent, and every time I had finished writing, I had some clarity, I had a different perspective on things. You know, things that swish around in my head that made a load of sense in my head. When I wrote them down and read them back, all of a sudden they just didn't have the energy, the weight, the severity that they did when they were swishing around my head. So I felt journaling, and that's one of the benefits of journaling. And I'm going to do a whole video on what I feel the benefits of journaling are. So I feel that journaling did help me a lot when I took the time to do it, when I made the effort to do it. And I feel also that I probably wouldn't have had as many dips as I did over the last 15 years of being a mother and a wife, if I had been more consistent with my journaling. And again, even though I'm not a daily journaler right now, I have like about 3 notebooks that I will write stuff down in, and I will aim to do it on a regular basis. Like I started keeping a gratitude journal the other day, and every night before I went to bed, I would list 20 things that I was grateful for. And again, I'm not consistent with it, and I don't do it every single day, and I'm very comfortable with the fact that I don't do it every single day, but I do it as much as I need to. I have it in a place that makes it easy for me to do it on a more regular basis, and I do find it really does help. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, you can get your copy of the book at thenaturallyyoucoach.com/shop. And right now it's on a discount because it's in pre-order stage, and it's going to be on a discount until Sunday the 8th, this coming Sunday, the 8th of March. And then it's going to go up to full price on Monday, the 9th of March. And during that week is when all the copies that have been pre-ordered are going to be sent out. If you want your copy signed, please feel free to let me know. Again, I'm going to be doing videos on the benefits of journaling, deciding what to write when you are journaling, and tips on how you can be consistent. And again, not daily, but just consistent. Again, I'd recommend you join my mailing list at thenaturallyyoucoach.com so you can find out about the events that I'm at and the new books and products that I have coming out, and the articles when I write articles on my blog, when I create videos. I have a podcast, so you'll be able to keep in touch and for me to share about the things that I'm doing on there. Again, that's one of the things I'm also not very consistent with, so you're not going to get bombarded if you are on my mailing list. I send out an email maybe once a week. And yeah, if you are going to be at Curly Treats Festival on the 24th of April, I look forward to seeing you there. If you're going to be at the Black Market and Film Festival on the 4th, I look forward to seeing you there. And if you're going to be at the Return to Your Roots Festival on the 8th of May, I look forward to seeing you there. I will also be letting you know when I'm going to be going live again. I'm going to be going live right now on Instagram again, doing this whole video again, sharing this whole message again to the family on Instagram. And the next time I go live on Facebook, I will be letting you know. So please keep following me, or yeah, keep following me on Facebook so you know when I'm going to be going live again. I hope you guys have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for joining me and my not able to speak very well self today. And yeah, have a lovely evening. Whoa, the light's gone. Have a lovely evening. Take care and see you soon.